Welcome to the Quicksilver Adventuring Company. Today I'm going to continue my class discussion for moving from the 2014 Player's Handbook onto the new 2024 Player's Handbook. And the class I'm going to go over today is the Wizard. Starting off with the core traits or the class features from 2014 for the Wizard. There's actually a couple changes here, but they're pretty minor. They've added nature to the skills list you can choose from. You still get to pick two, but now nature's an option. And then just like some of the other classes, they instead of having a short weapons list that you're proficient in, they've just given the wizard the proficiency in simple weapons. Next is the wizard features table. And here there's only really one change. They've given a column for prepared spells at level. And so this is new. Before they actually did, it's wizard level plus your intelligence modifier and a minimum of 1 for the number of spells you know. But now it's just a column. And I personally prefer the old way because I like actually rewarding characters for having the higher stat in your primary ability. But they've taken that away in the new one, and I'm not sold on that. I still like the idea of the old one for all of the spell classes, actually. The actual next topic is cantrips. And this is actually about the same, except for before, as you gain levels, you actually get additional cantrips at higher levels. But that still is the case in 2024. But now at a long rest, you can swap out your cantrips for something else. One thing that I've always liked about the wizard class is their spell book and how it's used so that they can actually, as they add spells to their spell book, they get it from level advancement, which is actually considered their ongoing research. But they can also get it from finding other spell books out in the world, which adds a lot of role-playing flavor. It goes back for me when I read the original Dragonlance trilogy back in the 80s, but and Raceland's quest for power by finding spell books throughout the world. But yeah, I've always liked that aspect of the class and just what kind of role-playing flavor that can actually add to the game. Another thing that's nice about the wizard versus some of the other classes is that at a long rest, they can change out their entire repertoire of prepared spells. And unlike the others, but that's always been something also nice about the wizard, and that is still in the game. Next is Arcane Recovery, and there's no change here. And during a short or long rest, you can actually regain spell slots up to half your level. So like if you're a level 6 caster, you can regain up to 3 levels of spell slots, and that could be a 2 and a 1, 3 ones. But yeah, you can do that once per day. Next to level 2 is a new ability they call Scholar. And at this point, you actually get to take a skill that you're already proficient in and you gain expertise in it. So you get double the proficiency modifier. It actually gives you a little bit more of a role-playing flair and you become more of an expert in this area, which I like. Why should rogues and bards have all the fun? Next is actually Wizard Subclass, which they did call Arcane Tradition at level 2, but now you pick your subclass at level 3. I'm actually not going to go into the subclasses here. I'm going to do a follow-up video on those, but yeah, so they made that slight change, but okay. Next to level 4 is ability score improvement. And yes, I think it should have just been called at level 4, you gain a feat, because now ability score is a feat, but it's a repeatable feat. And they could have just said that, but now it just says ability score improvement. And in the wording, it says you can gain the ability score improvement feat or a feat from that chapter. But yeah, works the same as the other in 2014. Next, we actually have a new ability at level 5, which is Memorize Spell. Essentially, during a short rest, you can actually swap out one of your level 1 spells for another level 1 spell. It's useful, but not overpowering, but it's definitely useful. Next to level 18, Spell Mastery. And they made a slight tweak here. Essentially, you could take a level 1 and a level 2 spell and then have those prepared and be able to be used at that level at any time. No use of a spell slot. You can cast a higher level, but it will take a spell slot, and then you can swap it out with another one during a long rest. One thing that they did call out during the new 2024 version is that it can only be spells that cost an action. So bonus action or reaction spells, you can't do this to. My guess for the call out on the action piece is that there are probably some bonus action reaction spells that level 1 or 2 that could be abused if allowed to just cast at will without the use of a spell slot. So there'd be no limitation throughout the entire day. Don't know what they are, but odds are there's something there. At level 19, we have the Epic Boon feat, which is the same for every class. So at level 19, you're able to gain one of the feats labeled in the chapter as Epic Boon. This was actually done at level 20 before, and that way, if people continue to play past 20, it gave them something to gain since they can't level up. But yeah, this is new, and you gain a little quicker than you did, and it's a nice add-on. At level 20, you get signature spells. And here you actually gain the ability to cast two level 3 spells you get to choose. And then you actually have the ability to cast these without spending a spell slot. So they're prepared at all times, but you can only cast them once this way. If you want to cast them again, you can use a spell slot, but you do get this free cast for each. And you can do that once per long or short rest. That's actually it for the wizard. There's actually not many changes at all, a few tweaks, a few slight power improvements, but for the most part, they seems to have left the class kind of alone. Um, okay, fine with that. But thanks for watching. And if you like the channel, please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you.